What's poppin', y'all? Yo, is Akademiks switching up or what? First, he went easy on Iggy Azalea, and now he's taking Lil TJ's side, or is it maybe because he's a little bit misinformed on the background? Because for those of you that are unfamiliar with what's been going on, Kai Cenat has they've attempted, and by they, I really just mean Lil TJ, has attempted to drag Kai Cenat into a beef, and it's not working. It's quite pitiful. And Lil TJ is just frustrated, angry. I did a whole video on it before. But Akademiks seems to be giving a little bit of more grace than I thought he would to Lil TJ. So I'm going to play you guys this clip first when he talks about it, and then we're going to break it down.
They call Lil TJ an op. Now, you would if you're following what I just said, A Boogie is Kai's guy. Kai's real friends would be rocking with Boogie. Maybe that's why they were thinking TJ is an op. So he says, an op? He says, laugh my ass off. So when I see you and slap the out of you, what are they going to say? Bullying a streamer again, right? I guess. I don't know what part of stop playing with me y'all don't understand. He's got real life problems and trauma due to circumstances you will never understand. You think it's cool to insert yourself in this for no reason? What makes me an op? Who you run? How many of y'all over there feel like this? Do you know what we do to our ops? Bet. What the algorithms say, Ray, I can't wait to see you, gang. I'm going to treat you like my skin complexion just to show you a little no discrimination. Can't wait to see you, buddy. And he says, love time, you made the bet. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very fair, and I know Kai's hugely popular. If anybody over there at AMP or AMP affiliates is considering Lil TJ a op, you're dead wrong. You don't know him. You might like A Boogie's music. I like A Boogie's music. But if you are thinking or considering Lil TJ a op, and Lil TJ got shot behind that might be involved in those situations, you're saying that if Lil TJ do something to you, when he see you, he should, because you're thinking you're going to do something to him. This is a violent beef where one of the main dudes was shot and some people thought was going to die. If you're calling him your op, you are squarely saying, yo, it's on. And again, I hate to have to explain this part, but the Ray dude is Asian. Like, I don't know, he comes from some other country. You might not be understanding. So you got to give them a little pass sometimes, like maybe you don't get it. But I think we get it in hip-hop. If you like A Boogie's music and you consider Lil TJ an op, that's a problem. And that's one thing I do want to be fair here with, because a lot of people like Kai, they're just only going to see anybody associated with Kai's angle. But I'm sorry. We just have to be sensible. He just got shot in this beef. If you're calling that your op, it's like you're trying to insert yourself in the beef. Makes sense to me.
This is not a violent beef whatsoever. Sure, it is violent, or it did get violent, with A Boogie and Lil TJ, but that has nothing to do with why Ray feels the way that he does, who is the person that Lil TJ is going after, and why Kai Cenat feels the way that he does about A Boogie or Lil TJ. He messed with A Boogie years before. I think he messed with Lil TJ to a degree, but he's not messing with Lil TJ, and it has nothing to do with A Boogie. Because if you guys remember, like, he messes with Kendrick, he messes with Drake, and that's also something where you could say, like, yo, you know, he might feel a certain type of way because the type of harm that Drake suffered from being accused of what Kendrick accused him of, but Drake is still able to be cool with Kai Cenat. I think he did fall back for a while, but they seem to have patched things up. So no, we're not going to go there. It's not violent whatsoever, and Kai Cenat is not inheriting anyone's beef. If Kai Cenat is not capping about people's album quality, whether or not he likes their album for people that he's collaborated with and he's cool with, and he doesn't lie or pepper it up for them and co-sign it and gives his honest opinion, then he's not going to, lie and say that he likes somebody who's talk trash about him, because that's how this started. And I don't think what Akademiks said makes sense. Maybe he's just looking into it too much, because, for example, like Akademiks and his situation with Youngboy and Dirk is more serious than anything that Kai Cenat has had with A Boogie or Lil TJ. Yet Akademiks isn't going to say that he's wrong for having done anything. Now, granted, he doesn't consider any of them an op, but there are people that are close to Akademiks that will consider other people ops for him, and or that he won't mess with because Akademiks doesn't mess with them, or they have said negative things about Akademiks. So he's like inheriting that situation. That's what Ray is doing. And Ray, like, he doesn't really care about A Boogie, or he obviously he likes A Boogie's music, but he's not tapped in like that, because even some rap fans don't even know like how sticky it got between A Boogie with the Hoodie and Lil TJ. But Akademiks continues in this clip.
I feel bad for TJ as well, because TJ is feeling what the GDs felt in Chicago. When you have fans and people who like the popular, who happen to be BDs, now thinking you're their op because their favorite rapper don't like you. Lil TJ is the GDs, and I'm using the analogy, like just like how the GDs felt in Chicago, Lil TJ's that in New York for in a certain sense. Because if the most popular streamer, and a lot of people are liking Boogie, but they're inheriting maybe Boogie's issues with you, it puts you in a disadvantaged position.
I don't think this is all the way the same. The problem is that a lot of the BD versus GD thing was the industry. Like, for example, 22Gs, who was GD, he got blackballed because people like Dirk, people like Fabio, who were anti-GD, the people working with them, they wanted to keep a good relationship with, so a lot of them just ended up getting blackballed or didn't get the right support. That's not the case with Lil TJ. And New York doesn't even operate that way. So sure, people that are really cool with A Boogie with the Hoodie, musically, maybe producers, I don't even think producers, but just musically, they might not work with Lil TJ if they want to get a feature. Let's just say rappers. But New York scene, it's not a scene. That's the whole thing. It's not like Atlanta, where if people messed with Young Thug, then they were not going to work with Rich Homie Quan. And Rich Homie Quan really suffered from that. That did not happen. So Lil TJ, he always had collabs. Like, if you just take a look at it, Lil TJ was collaborating with Pop Smoke when that was the thing. And A Boogie with the Hoodie, he was already in the game. I don't think the beef had that serious. But the last project that Lil TJ dropped was in 2023, and he had features on there. He had Fabio Foreign. He had Polo G, somebody he already worked with. He had Youngboy on there. He had Jadakiss on there. And he had the Kid Leroy and Summer Walker. So he had a bunch of features. So Lil TJ, we're not taking it like Lil TJ's being held back industry-wise whatsoever, or people don't want to collaborate with him. There isn't anybody that Lil TJ himself wants to collaborate with that won't collaborate with him because of A Boogie. I don't think that's a one-to-one analogy. I just don't think it holds up. But I understand the point that he's trying to get across. I just don't think there's a point there, to just being fair here. And here is where I think Akademiks doesn't really get where this came from. So I'm going to play you guys this clip right now, where he gets a little bit of an idea from Kai Cenat's perspective on why Ray doesn't mess with them.
Yeah, I love when New York call people mud. Okay, so his spin was, he's not calling you an op because I like A Boogie, that is your actual op. He's just calling you an op because he feels that you got into it with me before, and he's thinking, well, if you don't like my bro, Kai, you're an op. Okay. Okay. Anyway.
So here, Ray is saying, like, yo, you don't mess with my mans. And I don't think Ak knows the lore, which is Lil TJ started this. There was never a scenario where Kai Cenat called out Lil TJ. Lil TJ came at Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross, by the way, and this is where Akademiks can't say that, yo, Lil TJ, we're just being fair. He's just coming for Kai because Kai is tapped in with A Boogie, and A Boogie is using them or leveraging their platform when he's on there to throw slick shots or subs at Lil TJ by giving like Ray a chain, for example. And I think that's like a little bit of a reach. Is it a possibility? Sure. But let's just bring Aiden Ross into the picture. When Kodak Black was on stream for the last Mafiathon with Kai Cenat, Lil TJ, unprovoked, nobody talked to him, A Boogie wasn't involved. He says, and he went on and talked about like these guys are exploiting people, and he said culture vultures, both of them, and he said, I fake hate this kid. He's talking about Kai Cenat. Kai and Aiden, the biggest D-riders in life. So TJ would say outright he hated Kai Cenat. So if he hates him, Kai Cenat is like, I don't like this guy. Is that fair? And he didn't address it. He did not respond to the comments. But of course, Ray probably saw it because they have the same community. He comes from Kai's community. And then he came at Aiden Ross too. And I'm going to play you guys the clip of when he went in on Aiden Ross, just saying like wild stuff to him, completely unprovoked for no reason.
I told Aiden, your culture vulture, he told me I'm on perks. I don't take perks. I don't take drugs. I might sip lean a little now and then. But actually, less than you. Racist. I look like I take perks because I'm black, right? I know. He told me, I sent him a voice note about how I feel like your culture vulture. He told me he's not watching that. He's watching the election. And that I need to stop taking perks. That's what he think about. He just grind his way to the top using that little face card he got. And using that nigga stay woke. Use everybody. They only the top notch nigga they using culture vulture. Stop looking at Yak like he's a weirdo. No, sometimes that's how rappers act. In our society, that's how we act. That's how we get. Feel me? We different from niggas. This is the one lane where hood niggas that make they bread. Hood niggas that make they bread and put on for other hood niggas. Real shit, bro. So sometimes rappers could act weird. We're from different places than y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't take perks. I get high. But I don't take perks, fool. So you tell me I need to stop taking perks, fool. It's racist to me, gang. Like, where your mind at?
So here you have TJ going in on Aiden Ross, and that's where like we got to ask Akademiks the question. Well, what did? Well, we can make it known for sure that A Boogie is not anywhere. I don't even think he's anywhere in the top 25 of Aiden's favorite rappers. It's not like Aiden's kicking it with him. He's not co-signing A Boogie. He's not bringing all of Highbridge. He's not bringing Don Q on a stream. None of that. So Aiden Ross is just completely independent of any beef that Lil TJ has, yet Lil TJ still decided to take aim at him. And Lil TJ had the issues that he had with Black Boy Max. So no, it's not that Lil TJ has a point, and it's because that Kai Cenat's allying himself and calling him an op means that, somebody died from this beef. No, nobody died in any type of situation that had to do with Aiden Ross, but he still decided to hate on him. And he hated on Kai Cenat a year prior for how he was conducting himself, or for how he reacted to Kodak Black misconducting himselself in that arena, in their room. And he's trying to, like, I wouldn't say deride Kodak, but Kodak doesn't even mess. Do we even know if Kodak messes with Lil TJ? And he's saying stop looking at Yak like he's a weirdo. Dog, he was behaving oddly, and everybody thought it was weird. So, of course, people are going to look at him like he was doing something weird. And Lil TJ wanted to make it seem like, oh, yeah, he was just trying to defend him. Yeah, if he was trying to defend him, why is he coming at him again this year? Lil TJ just has an issue with Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, and just a bunch of other streamers as a whole. So, that's a him thing. And I think Akademiks I think he is being too gracious with how much reason and logic he believes Lil TJ has. Lil TJ is being completely unreasonable. There is no logic behind this. He just has this emotional feeling for people that he already doesn't like, and he chooses to misinterpret the situations and the intentions behind the actions that happened on that stream and what was said. That's all there is to it. And it's unfortunate, but I just think that's the case, or I know that to be the case. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.